Hey VC, it's Joel coming at you from Planet 13, and these are my pickups for Record Store Day drop number 2. And I also got some pickups from past Record Store Days and some pickups from June and July that I picked up. I picked up a lot, no more vinyl for me for a while. And the reason I picked up a lot is I was off this week and I just wanted to have some fun. I haven't been out anywhere in a long time and everything's kind of opened up again in Ontario with restrictions and whatnot. But I was able to go to some record stores, pick up some vinyl for once. It was nice to feel human again. And yeah, every store I went to was safe practices, masks, limited audience, sanitizing everything. So completely safe. I'm also fully vaxxed now. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better about life and I'm a lot happier. And I guess I'm a lot happier because I'm spending more money. Which is a bad thing, but no more vinyl for me for a while. I'm cutting myself off, and I have some pre-orders coming up in September, and I'm sure some cool stuff will come up between them. But yeah, no more vinyl. Anyway, I should shut up and get on with the show because I have a lot to show here. So first album I picked up for Record Store Day is Pearl Jam, the Alive single. You can see me looking at you, looking at me. I record my videos with a webcam. Anyway, this has 4 songs on it. It's you get the radio version of Alive. You get an etching on side 2. You get a Beatles cover for I've Got a Feeling. You get a song called Dirty Frank, which is a song they wrote while they were touring with the Chili Peppers. And you got a song called Wash. Pearl Jam is not a band I love. I've seen them a few times. I do enjoy them. I only really like 10. I don't mind Vitology and Versus, but 10 is just the album I love. Came out in 1991, which was just a remarkable year for music. You had some huge albums come out, some revolutionary albums. You had 10 from Pearl Jam, of course, come out. You had Nevermind. You had a Soundgarden album come out, Bad Motorfinger. You had the Black Album by Metallica come out. You had Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 by Guns N' Roses that came out, which no one really talks about anymore. Everyone's just like always about Appetite for Destruction, but Use Your Illusions 1 and 2 were huge. They were gigantic. People lined up for those albums. It had a huge amount of hype. They had so many videos come out. I love those albums. And you had, what else? You had Actung Baby by U2. You had my favorite, one of my favorites, Hey Stupid by Alice Cooper come out. Another favorite, Slave to the Grind by Skid Row came out. So just a lot. You had Gish by Smashing Pumpkins. So much stuff came out. It all sounded different. None of it sounded like anything else at its time. Nothing sounded derivative. It just was its all unique thing. I don't think we'll ever have a year like that again. Anyway, yeah, 10, favorite Pearl Jam album. Brings me back to that year, 30 years ago. I love it. Next album I picked up for Record Store Day is the Ramones. This is Triple J Live at the Wireless, recorded in Australia in 1980, which is great. Most Ramones albums that are live, there's so many of them. I do have a lot of Ramones albums. I didn't pick up the other Record Store Day Ramones albums because they're all kind of the same shows. And I was new to vinyl at the time and I didn't have the budget for it. Now I'd love to go back and get them, but they're gone. But I picked this one up, 1980, different set list than what they normally have because they're promoting End of the Century, I believe. So a lot of great songs you don't normally hear live off those other 70s albums and those 90s. There's a lot of 90s Ramones albums that are live as well. I love the Ramones. I saw them 23 times in a period of 3 or 4 years. And yeah, one of my first bar concerts was the Ramones. And I was just watching Jeff's video where he's talking about seeing Wasp live, and I pretty much had the same experience as him. You know, I left that show with footprints on my back, and I had to, near the end, I had to leave the front of the stage. I actually jumped up on stage and got thrown off by a bouncer, and yeah, I had to leave. And I remember just that refreshing feeling of that cool air hitting you because, like Jeff at the Wasp concert, I wore a leather jacket and I was just sweating bullets. And I remember going to the back and just sitting down and just basking in the cool, refreshing air of the bar that smelled like stale beer. And I remember I was so dehydrated, and I remember going up to a pop machine and just getting a Mountain Dew. And it was the first time I ever had Mountain Dew. And I thought, this is the best pop ever. I never know why I never drank this before. I'm going to drink this every day for the rest of my life. And true to my word, I just didn't drink it again until like a month later. I was at school and I saw that they had Mountain Dew. And I was like, oh, Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew. And I cracked a bottle open, and the instant it hit my lips, I was like, this sucks. This just tastes like pee. So yeah, not a Mountain Dew fan apparently, except after a Ramones concert. That is my story, and I'm babbling on, so I'll get on to the next album. Next album, Record Store Day. You got Aliens, James Horner soundtrack. Paid quite a bit for this, $36.99. That's Canadian money, so you're looking at $25 American. Not bad at all. This is on green acid vinyl. And I love the movie Aliens. I recently watched it it's on like Disney Plus, their Stars thing, and I rewatched it probably. I haven't seen it in about 5 years, but before then, I remember we used to like copy VHS tapes as a kid, because this is the 80s. You couldn't really afford to buy VHS movies, and we had Aliens on a VHS along with The Evil Dead and Witness with Harrison Ford, and I watched that tape over and over and over again, so I probably have seen this movie 50 times back in the 80s, and I just love this score. So very happy to have this. Very cool movie, very cool soundtrack. I'm a soundtrack guy. One of the reasons I got into vinyl was to collect soundtracks, and yeah, you're always going to see soundtracks during my pickups. Now for some Ghosts of Record Store Day Past. I picked this one up. It's Death Piggy. This is the album that it was Gwar before Gwar. It's kind of like a punky album. I picked this up in the States for $15. Shipping was $15, which was remarkable. You don't normally see shipping that cheap from the States. Usually it's $20 no matter what you order. You could order a piece of paper, be $20 for shipping. You could order a live monkey. It cost you $20. This, $15. And I thought it was such a good deal. I went back to the seller to see if, once this arrived, if he had anything else he wanted, but he jacked his price up to, guess what, $20. I probably ripped him off a bit. I ordered 2 albums too for $15. I'm going to show the next album that came with this. So 2 albums for $15. Usually it's $20 per album. So I got a pretty good deal. He probably lost some money on me. I'm sorry, but this is an album I wanted at my local record stores. It's always like $60. I wasn't paying $60 for this. But 15 American plus 15 shipping plus 15 plus another album comes to 45, which I'm already saving money even with the interest rate, right? So, you know, probably this cost me 25 Canadian at most. Yeah, you get a nice custom sleeve in here. This comes on like a urine cake gold, I think they call it. And yeah, they do the rest in peace to the past members. Dave Brockie was the vocalist for Gwar, and he died in 2014. And you get some etchings in the dead wax there, which is unique for an album. You also get etchings on the center label, which you can't really see. But yeah, they're kind of scratched in there. Very happy to have this. I like Gwar. I'm not like a huge Gwar fan. I'm probably not going to get every album by them, just the ones I consider essential. But this is one I wanted. I always like the early years, and at this price, and this is not an album you'll see a lot. You know, this isn't an album that's going to be in print forever. I figured I'll grab it for $15. Why not? So another album I picked up at the same time is Colorful Like Gwar, and it is Green Jelly. This is triple live at the Mother Goose at the Budokan. They weren't really at the Budokan. This is recorded in someone's garage. Colorful album, glow-in-the-dark vinyl, no inner sleeve or insert or anything else other than this plain thing. It's not even polylined. Bit of a ripoff, I think. I think all albums should come polylined. They don't. I'm going to complain about that until it's finally fixed, but no one's listening to me. But I think we all agree, all us record collectors. Polyline your sleeves, please. Anyway, enough of my little mini rant. Happy to have this. And again, I paid $15 plus the 15 shipping included with that. So yeah, not that expensive, and happy to have it. And yeah, this has some fake live tracks, but they're basically just songs recorded in the garage. You get Anarchy in Bedrock, which was off the Flintstone soundtrack. And you get 3 Little Pigs, and you get Obey the Cow God. And I'd rather have the Serial Killer soundtrack, which was like the official album they came out with that everyone's familiar with. That goes for insane prices. It's starting like at 75 American for that album. But no one really wants this one, which is essentially the same album, just recorded live, but not really live. Last Record Store Day album I'm going to show you is this one. It's Def Leppard, When the Walls Came Tumbling Down. This was from last drop. I had it on pre-order last time I made a video, and it was shipping to me at the time, so I didn't have it exactly then. And you get a nice little gatefold here. And, standard black vinyl. This is on. This is a record store day first, so this will be reissued again. This album is awesome. I love Def Leppard. I love all their albums, even the ones everyone hates, that where they consider they sold out. I still like them. I like those albums a lot. I never pass up an opportunity to see Def Leppard. They're amazing live. They sound great live. They do an acoustic set usually during their show just to show they really are singing. They really are playing their instruments. And yeah, you get these nice sleeves here. And it's on 2 LPs. Probably right now, this is my favorite Def Leppard album. I just love it. I love the old stuff. Like the new stuff. I'm happy with all Def Leppard, but this is their earliest stuff ever. And they come out of the gate strong. They already sound like an arena act with this album, man. They sound fantastic. A lot of bands takes them 5-10 years to get this good, and Def Leppard just started off so strong. And yeah, happy to have this album. I've been spinning it a lot, and highly recommend it. If you see it in the wild or when it gets reissued, if you like Def Leppard, pick it up. You'll like this. This one came out just a few days ago. It's the reissue of Typo Negative, Slow, Deep, and Heart. So before you could only buy this as an original when it originally was released, and you'd pay an insane price. And then it was part of a box set, and that cost a lot of money, but it was a good value. I think it was about $250 for 5 albums, all packaged up nicely. This has really good packaging. Heavy stock cardboard, polyline sleeves, poster, colored vinyl. But yeah, this is reissued by Rhino Groove. Cool gatefold, some liner notes. This is not an album like Bloody Kisses. If you like Bloody Kisses, you probably might not like this one. This one is, how do I say, very caustic. Funny album. But not, haha funny, more like Peter Steele's off-color brand of funny. Lots of vulgar language on here. But yeah, I just like this album. I was a big Typo fan when Bloody Kisses came out, and I remember picking this up and just loving it way back when. And it's on like a green vinyl. It's a very specific green that Typo Negative uses. Peter Steele, the frontman for Typo, he for years kept his job at the Parks and Rec Center in Brooklyn, New York. And because, he didn't make much money as a musician, so for years he had the part-time job where he made quite a lot of money because he's on a, government pay or whatnot. And he stole a lot of paint from the Parks and Rec Center to paint their addition or their rehearsal room where they'd rehearse their songs. So he loved that color green, and he's maintained that color green throughout the Typo Negative branding, I guess, or image. So yeah, you get a nice little poster here too. And again, great packaging. This came out from Run Out Groove. If you're a Bloody Kisses fan or an October Rust fan, I'd Spotify this first, see if you kind of like it. I don't think you will. You got to be really kind of... It's not very mainstreamish, It's not very polished. It's very rough and ragged, and I like that, but it's not for everyone. So I'm happy to have it, but I'd understand if you're not picking it up because I don't really recommend that album to anyone other than big fans of Typo. Another album I picked up, and I paid a lot of money for this one. I paid $60 for this one, but it made me happy. It's one of my favorite tribute albums out there. I'm using it as my thumbnail, so it's going to be no surprise. It's Nativity in Black, a tribute to Black Sabbath. This did come out for Record Store Day about 2 years ago, but this is the reissue of that. So it's not in colored vinyl. And for $60, it's not as... The Typo cost me 40 Canadian. This is 60 Canadian. $20 difference. There's no difference in quality. This is actually a little bit worse quality. You don't get a poster or nothing. You don't get polyline sleeves. You can get a gatefold though. And I don't think this is expensive in the States. I think it's going for like 25 American in the States. Just this is the cheapest I could find it. I found it at other record store days or record stores for like $80. So 60 seemed like a bargain, and I probably jumped on it too soon. If I waited, I could probably get it for cheaper. But I didn't wait. I was impatient. I was on my vacation, like I said, and I wanted it. I was really hyped up to get it, and I'm happy with it. I love this album. I love this album a lot. This is bands doing covering Black Sabbath, and the bands make it sound like their own. They don't half-ass it. They sound, so you got White Zombie doing a song, Children in the Grave. It sounds like White Zombie, but it also sounds like Black Sabbath because you're familiar with the lyrics. And you got Typo Negative on here doing the song Black Sabbath, and you got Corrosion of Conformity, great band, doing Lord of this World. Megadeth doing Paranoid, which sounds fantastic. I love that cover. Sepultura, you got Ugly Kid Joe. Thousand Homo DJs, which is Trent Reznor and Ministry kind of combined. Biohazard, Therapy, sing with Ozzy Osbourne singing. You get Bruce Dickinson doing a song. Faith No More covering War Pigs, doing it live. Just a fantastic album. I just have so many good memories of listening to this. At the time, I didn't know Black Sabbath's early catalog that well when I picked this up, so this introduced me to the song Supernaut. And then it just inspired me to buy more Black Sabbath. And yeah, just a very influential album on me. And I was a teenager when this came out, and yeah, just a great album. So very happy to have that. Next album. You ever get obsessed about an album? You see it at first and you're like, yeah, I do want that, but I'll get it later. And then you see it start disappearing and you just kind of get frantic. And I'm sure you have thought like that. I'm sure you've had that feelings before. I'm sure you'll have this experience like I've had. And that's what I had with the Batman soundtrack. Again, me looking at you, looking at me. This came out by Rhino Records for Start Your Ear Off Right in January 2021. And this is the score by Danny Elfman for the first Batman movie with the original artwork. So this is how it came out in 1989. And that was a huge cultural moment. Batman, holy cow, 1989. It took like 2-3 months before you could finally see that movie without having to line up for 2 hours. That first day it premiered, lineups everywhere, huge. You had to like line up a week before if you wanted to see it. There's so much hype behind that movie. And yeah, I didn't see it for probably 3 months later when my parents were like, okay, it's safe to go now. We don't have to stand out in the rain for 2 days. This comes out on turquoise vinyl, which I don't understand because I don't associate turquoise with Batman at all. I associate black and yellow and purple with the Joker, but turquoise, I don't know where they came up with that color. But anyway, it doesn't come in a polyline sleeve. Rhino used to do polyline, but they're not doing it anymore. They're getting cheap. Shame on you, Rhino. I want my polyline sleeves. But yeah, happy to have that. I was obsessing about it. I was like, I was dreaming about it, having this album. And then when I finally got it, I was so happy. When I listened to it, I was even more happier. And that's even more important. You listen to your albums and you're happy, right? So yeah, that said, next album, another score album. This is John Carpenter, Anthology. So this is just greatest hits of John Carpenter. He's done a lot of my favorite movies, and all the main themes are on here. And I'm happy with that. I don't want all of his scores. There's some, I do collect soundtracks, but I have it in my head that I don't need everything. Even though I'm obsessed with soundtracks, some of those movies I don't that love, so I don't really associate with it. The soundtracks don't make me happy, so I'm happy to have this, just to have the main themes. And standard black album, but you get some nice custom inner sleeves with John Carpenter pictures on the set of various movies that he did in here. You get the Halloween theme, which I'm happy to always hear. The theme from The Thing, Vampires, Assault on President 13, all sorts of stuff. You get like a nice die cut kind of cover here. So when you slide your album in, you get a nice little montage behind there, which is rather cool. Very happy to have this. I got it cheap. I went all the way to Montreal to find this album. There's a record store that had it for $20, and usually everywhere else I've seen it for $30. So I'm very happy to get that. I didn't go just there for that. I picked up a bunch of albums there, and yeah, very happy to have that. Next one is just filling in the holes of my Aki Daki collection. So AC/DC, If You Want Blood. I never had this on CD or cassette, but my brothers had it on vinyl, so I remember listening to it a lot as a kid. They were about 10 years older than me, so I'm familiar with all these songs. This is a live album. Of course, If You Want Blood is not on there because that would come out on the next album. This is just kind of a, which always kind of disappoints me because I want to hear that live off here, but it's not on here. But yeah, custom inner sleeve, standard black album. I'm not going to show you the album because I got to move on here. I'm going on too long. Another album that makes me happy. Ramones. This is Leave Home. Happy to have this. It's kind of disappearing. It was put out by Rhino, but they did it right. They put it on a polyline sleeve. And you get a custom inner sleeve, of course, with it. I do want every Ramones studio album, and that's my goal. And hopefully they reissue them because the originals are pricey, but I'm hoping Rhino puts everyone out there. And I know some people, much like AC/DC, think all their albums sound alike. And much like AC/DC, I like all the albums the Ramones put out. And yeah, I also do want to get every AC/DC album eventually, over time, because I'll listen to them. And I just think every Ramones album is awesome. And of course, it's a band I've seen 23 times, which I keep saying, but it's my claim to fame. And I just really miss the Ramones. I miss them so much. Yeah, I love that band. But yeah, happy to have this. This came in a while ago, but I got it in Montreal for a good price. It was always like $30 or more, and I got it for 20. And the album's only a half hour long. I don't want to pay $30. It's $1 a minute. It seems a little unreasonable, but $20 is kind of justifiable to me. Another album I picked up is The Next Day by David Bowie, and this comes out on Gatefold. I think this was the second to last album he put out before Black Star. This was The Next Day, then Black Star, I believe. Bowie's another band I want to have the entire catalog on vinyl, and I'm almost there. I only have like a few more albums to pick up. I think mostly 90s and 2000s. So starting with Black Tie, White Noise to Earthling is what I need. Maybe another one or two in there. Hours, I think I need. No, I have Hours. I don't know. I need a few more. But this one came with a CD as well, and great packaging. Custom, inner sleeves here, and very good album. I never heard it before, but I like Black Star a lot, and this has Black Star vibes. You can kind of see the evolution between Black Star and this. Very happy to have it. Bowie's just a band. He always takes me a while to digest, I gotta listen to Bowie albums a few times to really have them resonate with me, and then they click. And I appreciate that about him. His albums are challenging. And I want to know all his deep cuts too, right? So that's why I'm picking up every Bowie album. Next album is another band I want every album of, and I only have a couple more to go. I picked up, finally, Raise Your Fist and Yell by Alice Cooper. I've only had this on cassette. I didn't even have it on CD. Happy to have this. Got it off of Discogs in Germany. Didn't pay a lot of money for it. There is a sealed copy in a record store near me, but it goes for $75. It's been sitting there for 2 years. I'm waiting for them to lower the price. They won't lower the price. Still asking $75. No one's buying it. Lower it down. But I didn't want it sealed because I want to listen to the album. I'm not really, it'd be cool to have sealed, but I know I'm going to open it. All the value is going to fly out the window. So happy to have this. The other albums I ordered from the States, and this I ordered on the same day, and I was going to see who would get here first. And if you want to take a guess, an album from Germany, which is thousands of kilometers away, or two albums from New Jersey, which is like a 12-hour drive away. Which came first? They both arrived the same day. Remarkable. Pretty cool. But shipping for this was only $3. I can order any album from Europe, and shipping is usually $3 or $4. If I order an album in my own country of Canada, shipping is usually $14. And if I order an album from the States, it's $20. So I don't get European shipping. It all ships through Canada Post, which is $24, but I don't know what we got going on with Europe, but $4 for shipping, I'll take it. And sometimes I do that a lot. I'll see an album on Amazon and it'll be a lot cheaper than what Canada Amazon is asking, and shipping isn't free like it would be. So it kind of sometimes works out the same, but sometimes with it being $4, it works out to be cheaper. Unfortunately, the original insert did not come with this album, and that disappointed me. You always take your chance on Discogs, but I wasn't sure if they're going to reissue this album because I know the master's burnt up in that fire, or at least that's what the rumor is. So I thought I'd jump on this, and now I only have a couple more Cooper albums to get on vinyl. I have everything split between CD and cassette, but I think on vinyl all I need is The Eyes of Alice Cooper, Brutal Planet, Welcome to My Nightmare 2, and the spider one. I can't remember the name right now, but the one with the spiders and the serial killer and Slash plays on it. If you're not a super fan, you know the one I'm talking about. Along Came a Spider. Yeah, there we go. Next album I got, Weird Al 3D. Awesome. So happy to have this. This album is a time machine for my mind. As soon as I put this on, I remember being a little kid again. And I had this on cassette, which we taped off my cousin's vinyl album. And I have every song memorized. This is a fantastic album. It parodies, your classic popular songs from the 80s. So it's a time warp to the 80s as well. And yeah, just a remarkable album. You get, of course, the most famous song off here is Eat It, which is a parody of Beat It. But you get the Brady Bunch, which is a parody of the Safety Dance. You get I Lost on Jeopardy, which was My Life's in Jeopardy parody. You get a polka song of all the classic songs. You get the King of Suede, which is like a Sting or a police cover, kind of. I forget which song. You get the theme from Rocky 17, which is a parody of Eye of the Tiger, but it's Try the Rye or the Kaiser, I think it's instead. And yeah, just a fantastic album. The thing about Weird Al, he has the same touring band from the very first album in 1979 that he came out with. I think it was 79, maybe 81. But yeah, same band he tours with. He's always been with the same band. They're like so loyal to one another, and that's fantastic. And great album. Weird Al ain't for everyone, but I really enjoyed that album. So happy to have it. Last two albums. So I picked these up because Jeff from Various Vinyl is a huge fan of this album and band. I picked up Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche, and I wasn't very familiar with these albums. I'm not going to really dig them out and show them, because go watch Jeff's channel. He can talk about it way better than me. I knew the hits off here, but yeah, this is a great album. Thank you, Jeff, for recommending this. These albums are great, and they were cheap. In Canada, they were about $30, which is like 23 American. Super cheap. Two LPs, no gatefold. Got the other one, got Empire. Very happy to have these. Anyway, enough from me. Until next time, cheers.